Hello and welcome to this month's February newsletter video update, where I share with you the current market action that's occurred over the last month and give you an update on a couple of my current trades. Already the market's been booming and pushing through some key resistance points, so I have lots that I want to share with you. But before I get started, I just need to remind you that I'm not licensed to provide any personal investment advice. This video and all the charts and trades that I share with you are for illustrative purposes only, and I'm just showing you how I view the current market action and sharing this with you. So let's move on now and see what's been happening in the market since my last video update to you. On the screen here is Metastock, and I have a chart of the ASX 200 open. And you can see we've gone from a nice steady uptrend to a sharp move. Once the ASX 200 moved above its last lot of highs over here, it has just charged upwards and pounded through this 5,000 resistance level. We've had over a 10% rise in the market over the last 2 months. And 5,000 has been a resistance level that it hasn't been beyond for a couple of years now. If I go back to the weekly chart and I zoom out, you can see the last time the market was above this 5,000 level was over here in 2008. And it's taken over 4 years for us to get back above here after we've had a big fall, a recovery in here, and then we've been zigzagging around, as we all know, for quite a long period of time. And finally, we've had some market action that's occurring and a push through this 5,000 level. A very strong push, might I add. I mean, you could say, well, is it too strong a push now? And are we going to collapse back in there? Because if you go to the daily chart and you see this sharp price rise that we're having in here, it is short and sharp. And we've just had a little bit of some profit taking coming in on Thursday this week. But the market's tried to recover a little bit today. And it has managed to close back above this 5,000 level. And of course, I have no idea what's going to continue to pan out in here. All I know is right now I've been enjoying the current moves in the market and having some nice profitable trades open. And if we go and have a look at what the US market's been doing as well, you can see that since January, the US market has also powered up as well. It had a very sharp rise at the beginning of January, and then it pushed through a resistance level as well and has also powered up quite strongly. At the moment, it's also having a pullback as well. And right now we still have another night of trading in the US because I'm currently recording this video on Friday the 22nd of February and the markets haven't opened in the US as yet, but we've just finished our trading for the week in Australia. And if I go over to the weekly chart, you can also see that the US markets have to get beyond this point over here to be in blue sky territory. So it is heading up to a key point that it hasn't been beyond before. And if it's going to keep on moving in this trend, anything is possible. And of course, time will tell what pans out. But for now, I'm just going to continue trading my systems and follow my money management rules. So let me show you two of my hot trades that I currently have open in the market right now. And this is a share here that's been going sideways for a period of time. And when it broke through this resistance level just here, that it's touched a few times, and pushed through the nice round number of $20 as well, my daily swing trading system brought it up in my scan that day. And so I entered into the trade before the market closed at $20.01. And it wouldn't have mattered whether you entered in that day or you entered in the next day. You still would have a nice profitable trade running on this share. Because what happened is after it broke through, it moved up again and then had a very strong move after that. It's had a bit of a breather and it's fallen back, and then it's charged up with this huge day in here. Now after that huge day happened, I tightened my stop loss up on the trade. So I've gone from this trailing stop loss to a tighter trailing stop loss. And so far that stop loss has not been hit. It's currently just sitting below $23. And the reason why I tightened my stop loss up is because I hit a windfall profit situation. And when I get in a situation where a share rises a large amount in a short space of time, there's a couple of things I can do. I can sell half or I can tighten my stop loss up. And because the market has been running so strongly, I decided I wanted to stay in this trade and I would tighten my stop loss up. It's a judgment call that I have, and I decide on the day what I'm going to do. And sometimes you do need a little bit of flexibility, but not too much. So I just give myself two choices. And because the market had been so strong, I decided I wanted to stick with the trades as much as I could, because it's been a long time since we've had such a beautiful market occurring. So at the moment I am still in this trade and my stop loss has been tightened up. I could be taken out of the trade on Monday. I have no idea. So we'll see what pans out in the market over the next week, and I'll keep you updated in my next newsletter video as to what happens with this trade. So moving on to the next trade that I also have open, I'll just close this chart down now. On the screen here is another trade that I have open, and these are both CFD trades. So I opened this trade up on the 18th of January. The share had already had a nice rise, and it moved through this resistance point here that it had touched a series of times over here. It had broken through it before and collapsed back below it. And this time it got back through it, and when it came up in my daily swing trading system and had also moved above $26, I entered into it. It managed to gap up quite strongly the next day, and there was no stopping it after that. It sort of moved up, had a little bit of a pause, moved higher, and has charged all the way up beyond $30. Now I've had some profit taking that's just come into it now, which is the first sign of a strong reversal. However, it didn't hit my stop loss yet, and today it's had what's called an inside day. And it might just be taking a breather now. Who knows? It could take a breather and it could have another run, or it could completely collapse and my stop loss will be hit. So I will let the market tell me what to do with this one. And in hindsight, you might say, well, why haven't you tightened your stop loss and why didn't you get out on this move down here? Well, as you can see, it didn't have the same move as that previous trade did, where it had one big, huge day. It's had some nice moves each day and some smaller moves. So there hasn't been anything there that's concerned me, and then it's moved up. The only thing that started to concern me was, yes, this day was a strong fall, but my stop loss wasn't hit yet. And I was actually expecting it to get hit the next day, but it didn't get hit the next day, and it has had a slight recovery. So I've got that stop loss activated in the market, and I will see what pans out with it. Because when you trade the stock market, you have no idea what's going to happen out there. You don't know if this share is going to take off again or not. So by having a trailing stop loss that I move up as the share makes new higher closes, I can then let the market tell me what to do when it hits that price level. So they're two of the trades that I entered into when I moved back into the market around mid-January, because I took a break from trading for 2 weeks after Christmas, and then I started opening up some new trades. And there's been some other wonderful trades I've have opened as well, but these are the two that have definitely outperformed. And as I mentioned, I'll keep you updated in how they progress in my next newsletter video update with you. So not only have I been enjoying the ride in the share market, I've also still been taking advantage of the strong Aussie dollar, and a month ago I converted some more money to US dollars at $1.05. And what that means that 50,000 Australian dollars converted to 52,500 US dollars. And with this money, I was able to buy another property in the US. Here's another property that I've just settled on in Cleveland, Ohio. It's a 3-bedroom, 1-bath home with an internal garage and basement. And you can see an exterior photo there and the kitchen as well. Now I bought it for a total price of $49,700 with my settlement costs, and I receive $875 rent on it. The tenant only just moved in last week. And that equates to a gross return of $10,500, which is 21% on my purchase price. And all this is based on US dollars. So after all my costs, I make a net yearly return of 13%. And to give you an idea of what I mean by my yearly costs, on this slide here I have more of a summary of the property and what my costs are. So I receive $875 per month, which is $10,500 per year. And then my property management fees, which are 10% of my monthly rent, is $1,050 a year. I just paid $608 for my yearly insurance on the property. I allocate $500 per property for any unforeseen repairs and maintenance, and I always include this in my figures. And then the rates on this property is $1,844. So taking all these costs into account, my total expenses are $4,002, and that creates the net income of $6,498 per year. So it's a 13.07% net yield on this property. And that's just another example of a property that my team in the US has found for me, and can also find for you too if you're interested in diversifying into the USA property market. And of course, myself and my business partner Fiona Herbert are here to help you do that. We've got a business called Smart Property Investing, which is all about helping Aussies buy into this high cash flow US property market while the prices are still low and our Aussie dollar is still strong. So if you want to know more, head on over to www.smartpropertyinvesting.com and download a copy of the free special US property report. I also have a podcast that I did with Everyday Property Investing, which is definitely worth listening to as well, because it details the process that we will go through with you to help you get set up to buy your first USA property. And we'll be there to help you through the entire process. And if you're keen to know more after you've been through the report and listened to that podcast, send me an email and we can make an appointment to talk more about it. But as with any investing business, you need to have a trading plan. So if you don't have one, it's time to write one. Or if you do have one, maybe it's time to update it, so you too can take advantage of whatever the market's going to be offering. And if you need help in writing that trading plan, you can check out my book Smart Trading Plans. It's available to purchase from my website or in Kindle version from Amazon. And don't forget to have a good look around my website. I have plenty of information on here, and you can also learn about my trading systems and strategies through a course that I have called the Smart Trading Plan and System Development course. And if you have any questions at all, feel free to contact me. My contact details are in the Contact Us area of my website. So until next newsletter video update, goodbye for now.